Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Tom Malesic with EZSolution, and thank you for attending the Cyber Crimes How Safe Are You webinar that we're talking about today. So let me introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Tom Malesic, and I'm president of EZSolution, and we got started helping businesses with their IT and with their websites and internet marketing in 1997. We're excellent at computer support. We manage right now over 1,000 PC servers in the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area. And a couple years ago, I published a book, What Your Computer Guy Never Tells You. So if you want to jump on our website, I've got some free chapters in there, and you can take a peek at that. So let's just jump right in. Let's talk about cybercrime. And one of the things that we need to talk about when we talk about cybercrime is just the criminal in general. So let's think about crime in general here. So years ago, it was pretty easy to get into that business. You just go and buy a gun and some dark clothes, and you'd stand in a dark alley and wait for your victim to walk by, and then you'd hold your gun out and say, "Stick 'em up," right? So business was pretty good for most of these criminals, and it was pretty easy to come by, and prospects were everywhere, right? But, like all good business owners, these criminals say to themselves, how can I grow my business, right? That's what all of us say. Every day we're looking at our business saying, how can we grow? And for the criminal, fortunate for them, more technology came along. And so along comes the train. And now, one guy can have a gun and jump on a train and rob lots of people, right? So it goes from one guy robbing one guy to one guy robbing lots of people. So then more technology comes along, right? And then eventually we get the internet. And so my question to you is, who really is this? Is it a kid in his bedroom with his internet connection here, like Matthew Broderick from the movie War Games, just kind of screwing around? Or are cyber criminals true organizations? Do cybercrime look like this? This looks like a lot of offices with cubicles and people with computers and working hard, and they have network printers, and they're hard at work. And what I'd like to pose to you is that this really is the cyber criminal. Now, I'm not saying that cyber criminals don't work on their own, but the reality is these are full-fledged organizations. Whether they're all together here in one building or they're organized crime across the country or across the world, these are big organizations that are out there looking for ways to hack into your computer and steal your money. So let's talk about one such business. This business is called Innovative Marketing, and this is their lobby. They were located in Kiev, Ukraine, and their 3-year gross revenue was $500 million. I don't know about you, but I'd kind of like my revenue to be close to $500 million. So this is a large organization. They had a front lobby. They had a receptionist. They had an HR department. They organized team building activities. They even put up job ads. Here's a job ad I found that they're looking for an online media buyer. So these criminals are full-fledged. So one of the products that Innovative Marketing sold was called System Doctor, and this was a nice, handy piece of software that its job was to help protect your computer system. But really, what it did was it hacked into your files, and then you'd call in for tech support when you got a virus, which was the virus they gave you in the first place, and for another $69.95, they could remove that virus for you, right? So think about criminals in a couple ways. They could be the kid in his basement, but these are well-organized, well-funded organizations to the point where these buildings here, this is the People's Liberation Army in China. These are 13-story buildings with hundreds of employees, and their sole job is to hack into your business and to hack into the United States. This went so much so that this was just a couple months back. I believe it was March or April of this year. President Obama went over to China, and the whole topic, one of their big topics here was cybercrime. And, hey, China, can you stop hacking into our stuff, right? Which this became very comical as a headline on Fox News, because real shortly thereafter we had all this media on our friend here, Mr. Ed Snowden, if you recognize his picture from the media not that long ago, and he says, hey, well, maybe if China's hacking us, but guess what? The United States is hacking into China too. This followed by our great stories of, we're all worried that the NSA is spying on us, and Fox News even had a poll, and 62% of the people said that it's unacceptable for our government to spy on us. So cybercrime's kind of everywhere, and one of the big takeaways I want you to have is that cybercrime is a well-organized, well-funded opponent. Right now, it's estimated that cybercrime is a $2 trillion business. So lots of market opportunity for criminals out there, that's for sure. Some of the other statistics in cybercrime is that cyber attacks have jumped 42%. So we're not looking at something that's a gradual growth curve or something that's kind of a small threat to us. Cybercrime is active and is growing very, very rapidly. Now, Facebook actually reports that 600,000 Facebook accounts are attempted to be hacked in every single day. So, poor Facebook trying to thwart off these attackers, and maybe even your Facebook account has been hacked into, and people are putting posts that isn't you on there. Malware attacks happen every 3 minutes. That's a lot of attacks. So malware is a huge, huge concern for obviously the IT professionals, but just for you as an individual as well, as to, how do you protect yourself from these malware attacks? Then, the poor companies that own antivirus software, they have to actually fight off 3 million new viruses every month. So imagine your business that if you had to fight off these 2 million new attacks that you don't even know about. And that's why it's so important that you really run antivirus software on your computers so that you can do as good a job as you can to protect these viruses. And obviously, all of us have been attacked by viruses at one point in time. So today, what we're going to learn is, we're going to learn what cybercrime is, and we certainly just talked about that. But we're going to learn why they attack you, what they attack, how they attack you, and at the end of the day, what you really care about is how do you protect yourself, your family, and your business from these criminals. So why do they want to attack you? The reality is, you as a person and you as a small business owner, you're just an easy target. So if you're out there, just like in your business, sometimes the market that you go after is the low-hanging fruit. Well, criminals are no different. So they want to go after the computers and the people that don't have virus protection, who don't update their systems, who are just real easy to get into, or who just make a bad choice through a spam email. So you're just the low-hanging fruit, and you're just easy to get to. So some of the why do they want to get you? You can say, oh, well, I'm just, it's just me. Why do they even care? Well, one of the things they want from you is they want your credit card information. So we've all probably looked at our credit card statement at one point and said, I didn't make that purchase on there. And you call your credit card company, and they reverse the charge because the person at the end of the day who paid for that was the merchant who that charge went through. So you as a consumer are very safe with your credit card as far as being responsible for that bad purchase. But they want to steal your credit card. So you can go online and you can buy stolen credit card numbers. You can buy actual physical cards so that you can use a physical card. Just go down to the grocery store and buy something with somebody else's card. And then, if you look online, you can buy what's called a card cloner. So that means that if you have a number, you can then create a physical card just by having the card number. Now, all this stuff is really, really easy to find. So, I encourage you, you can even do this right now, is, just Google free credit card numbers or buy stolen credit cards. And you're going to find just hundreds and thousands of websites that show you or will let you actually purchase stolen credit card numbers. So this site is, free hacked credit card numbers. This website is the only source on the internet that gives you free working credit card numbers. Well, they might think they're the only source, but I found tons of them. Here's another one that you can download free credit card numbers, and if you want to get some PayPal accounts, well, that's only $500. So this stuff is out there, and sometimes we think of criminals as if they are on the underground and you can't find them. But criminals they're using Google to advertise as well, so it's real simple for us to go online and just even find this stuff. So besides credit card numbers, what they want is they want to get into your bank account. So if they can get into your bank account, how do they do it? So they get in through wire transfers. So if you on your online banking, if you can go on online banking right now and you can issue a wire transfer, your account's at risk, because that means if you can do it, somebody who hacks into your online banking can also do it. Now, the scary thing about wire transfers is that it's instantaneous. So that means that if somebody logs in your online banking, transfers $10,000 through a wire transfer, that money's gone right away. So the bank is not going to be able to get your money back. Just like your credit card, your debit card number can be stolen. Most of us use a debit card as if it interchangeably with a credit card. So if somebody steals your debit card number, just like they would steal your credit card, because of course you purchase things on Amazon, right? They're going to just debit money right out of your account. If you're doing ACH transactions, that's a risk. Check fraud is a huge risk. Go talk to your banker about these 4 topics, and probably what they're going to tell you is check fraud is one of the most prevalent ways that you get attacked personally and through your business. Now, all banks also have a way to protect you against these services. So you can say, okay, well, listen, why don't you disable wire transfers off of my online banking? So if I want to do a wire transfer, I have to actually go to the bank, sign some paperwork, and do it. That's one way to protect you. With debit cards, a way to protect yourself with that is just stop using them. Use your credit card instead, because remember, you're not liable for that purchase if somebody makes a fraudulent charge. But on your debit card, they just took that money right out of your checking account. So the bank, they don't have a fiduciary responsibility to refund your money. Now, what they do is they do their best effort to try to get that money back, but they're not responsible for that. And I really encourage you to have a very candid conversation with your business banker. One of the services that banks offer is a check fraud protection. And the way that works is every time you write a check, you're going to report that through an online banking system that says, these are the checks I wrote, here's who I wrote them to, here are the amounts, here's the numbers. And then what the bank does is they cross-reference your check, the check information that you gave to them against the checks that come into them to verify that all these checks are ones that you authorized. So if a check comes through and it's not on your list, what my bank does is they notify me by 10 in the morning that there's an issue, and I have till 2 o'clock to say that's a good check. If I don't say that's a good check, they actually deny the check, which protects me from check fraud. Now, you do pay a fee for it, but it's a great way to protect your checking account, because let's face some serious facts. If somebody writes a check for $20,000 and the bank clears it, and let's even say I have overdraft protection. So if I only had $10,000 in my account and the bank honored that check for $20,000, that meant through overdraft protection, I'm out $20,000, not $10,000. So really have that heart-to-heart with your banker. Now, the other things that these cyber criminals want to do is they want to steal your identity. So we've all seen commercials for identity theft, and insurance companies can protect you from identity theft. They don't actually protect you from it. I guess they help finance it in the event that your identity is stolen and you have to go through all the hassle of getting everything straightened out again. So they want to steal your credit cards, they want to get into your bank account, they want to steal your identity, and they want to use your computer and your servers and your internet connection to attack others. So think of it this way. If I can go through 5 or 6 computers to get to the person that I'm attacking in the end, then my identity is kind of hidden. So these attackers, they're kind of cowards in the sense that they don't want to attack you directly. They want to jump through a bunch of other people to attack you. So the more they can create this network of their own kind of server farms of computers that they don't even own, but they have control over because they put a piece of malware on your PC or your servers to be able to jump in and attack other people. So let's take a peek at what can be attacked. Obviously, everybody knows that your PCs, your computers, your laptops, your servers can be attacked, and your website can also be attacked. So we've certainly seen an increase in our business of websites that have been attacked. And sometimes they're looking to attack it because they're putting a piece of malware on there, or they're putting a piece of marketing to go to their website. Sometimes they're just distributing viruses so that they can then use your PC as part of their network to attack other people. And sometimes they're fishing for credit card information, because if you can attack an e-commerce website that stores credit card information on the server, now you just got a whole lot of information. All right, but did you know that your cell phone can be attacked? So let me play a video for you. This is a website that I found. It's called Spy Bubble, and this is supposedly legitimate software that watches where you are on your cell phone. So let's watch this video.
By now, most people understand that talking on a cell phone is not secure, but this is going to shock you. A third party can listen in on your conversations, read your text messages, even pinpoint your location, and you'd never know. Here's how. These people are having a phone conversation.
Hey, how's it going? It's going well. How are you?
One in East L.A., the other in West L.A. But on this third phone, miles away in another part of town, someone is eavesdropping on the conversation.
So how was last night?
Great. You cannot tell at all that you are being spied upon.
It's pitched as a way to catch a cheating spouse, keep tabs on an employee, or even protect a child. And marketers promise invisible access that's impossible to trace.
It's actually real, that people can spy on cell phones.
Kelly's a publicist and tells us she was shocked to discover someone was secretly listening to her phone conversations, compromising not only her business and clients, but her private life as well.
I was very upset. I mean, I feel like that's an invasion of privacy.
Eric Roby is an analyst with a high-tech firm called Federal Forensics Group, and he told us how easy and powerful this spy software is.
This is the interface to the spy technology. All I need to do is check these boxes, hit start capture, and it starts spying.
I would love to go there sometime.
Absolutely.
The software can be set up to access anything and everything coming from the phone, including emails and text messages. And while the spy is getting everything you're saying, he can also map everywhere you're going. Brian LaRock also works for Federal Forensics Group.
If I have installed this software on your cell phone, I can tell where you are at any time. And if I want to, I can even follow you wherever you're going.
Worst part, a compromised cell phone's microphone can be used as a bug, recording surrounding conversations even when the person is not on the phone.
There's information that people can get and utilize to their advantage, and it's not okay.
It's kind of like having your own personal surveillance team.
To learn more about cell phone spying, go to our website, myfoxla.com.
So how freaky is that? So this is a piece of supposedly legitimate software that you can install that the user never knows, and they can spy on you, which also means that if somebody can get a hold of your cell phone, or you download malware, a malware app that automatically installs this, that person or the people that have the malware app now on your phone now know everything that you're doing. They can activate the camera, they can activate the video, they can activate audio, they can follow you on a GPS. So, criminals are pretty sophisticated. If somebody really wants to target you personally, it's not that hard for them to do that. So that's just a scary kind of thing. Another thing that can be hacked, this is a great story here. A couple years back, China hacked into the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. So that's not overly concerning, I guess. We understand that everything's getting hacked, but it's kind of comical how they got hacked and also how they found out that they were hacked. So the U.S. Chamber of Commerce decided to install a new HVAC system. So their heating and cooling system, they changed it out, and many of you know that you can now control your air conditioner from a remote location. And for larger businesses, this is actually a service that these HVAC companies provide to large organizations. So if somebody else can access the temperature of your office building remotely, then it can be hacked as well. So they got in through the HVAC system, but they found out that they were hacked because all of a sudden they started to get Chinese documents on their printer. So imagine this. You're the guy in China. You're at your computer, and you hit print. And then you walk over to the printer, and you look there, and it's not there. And you're like, huh, all right, that's weird. You know, we've all done that, right? We thought we hit print, and it just didn't print. Or it's stuck in your queue. So the Chinese guy goes back and hits print again. Goes over to the printer, it's not there. Well, it's not there because he's printing to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and not to his local networked printer. So I thought you would enjoy that story. That's a fairly odd way to get in and to find out that you were hacked. We've all seen these Comcast commercials, right, for home automation, and they promote it as, know that your kid got home safe. They show pictures of the dog barking, and you turn the lights on, or you can control the temperature. You can open your garage door. You can activate any camera in the house. Comcast has them. Every security company that sells an alarm system has this concept of this home automation system. Well, think about if you can access it from your cell phone, then so can anyone else. So how safe is that? These are life decisions that you have to make. But if somebody knows that my kid is home, that's not a good feeling to me. So I'm not a big fan of this. I have a guy in the office who his entire house is automated, and he can open his garage door and do absolutely everything. And in fact, his exterior cameras caught a criminal that robbed, that stole the neighbor's car. So I know it has good uses and it has lots of conveniences, but just be aware of the extra danger that it presents. So if somebody can hack into your cell phone and hack into that app, they now know who's home, when they're home, what they're doing. And here's the reality. Every time you go on vacation, you probably posted that up on your Facebook page, and now they know you're definitely not home because you're on vacation because you told everybody. So your home automation system can be hacked. Now, here's a new crime. It's called apple picking, and this is when you're walking down the street with your cell phone, iPhone in particular, and you're talking on the phone, you're really not paying attention, and somebody runs up behind you and just steals it right out of your hands. So that's a new bizarre crime, and I've been told that in San Francisco, this is the #1 petty crime is people stealing iPhones right out of your hand as you're walking down the street. Social media can be hacked. So in one of the earlier slides, we talked about that 600,000 Facebook accounts are attempted to be hacked in every day. But Twitter also got attacked recently. So some of you might have seen this story, how the Associated Press's Twitter account got hacked.
Twitter a short time ago using the AP's account, the Associated Press, suggesting there had been an explosion or two at the White House and the president was injured. It was not true. AP's White House correspondent says their Twitter account was hacked. But the markets fell about 150 points for the Dow Jones Industrials in just seconds. And you can see how it has bounced back now after AP clarifies that their Twitter account had been hacked. There are no explosions. Nobody has been interested. It is a false report, but it does show the amazing ability of social media to influence things at this point. If people weren't able to check this out, and our Twitter expert, Katie Finneran, noticed immediately that it was a fake. It wasn't in AP style, but that didn't help Wall Street at all. But it does seem that we have recovered. Emily?
And, of course, Mike, everybody on edge right now, given the events in Boston. But, again, no explosions, no new explosions, nothing is wrong, and the President Obama, is fine.
So how about that? Your Twitter account gets hacked, and lo and behold, hang on. And all of a sudden you see this huge just dip, and in the stock market. So what's the old theory? Buy low, sell high. So somebody made a fortune in this little gap right here. I think this was absolutely a brilliant crime. But this is an example of of a hacker, as a very sophisticated hacker, I'm sure. Another new thing that can be hacked is your car key fob. So, long gone are the days when you actually open and start your car with a key, right? Our Toyota Prius, I just need to be near the car and the car unlocks, and I just have to have the little key fob with me in the car to start the car and to drive. So criminals have now figured out how to hack the wireless connection that these little devices have to unlock your car and just to steal it. So this is a newer crime, but it's technology and it can be hacked. So really the bottom line is, if it's connected to the internet, it can be hacked. So think of it this way, given enough time and attention, anything is hackable. And these are large-scale organizations, and they employ very smart computer guys and programmers and women who that's their job, is to hack into things. So you say, okay, so how do they hack me? And we talked a little bit about this. Let's take a look at this piece of software. It's called a key logging software. And take a look at this.
That the internet is not just a bank of useful information, but also contains many threats, especially for young people. The accessibility of violent content and the unlimited opportunities to communicate put your offspring under the risk of being offended in many ways. And it applies to your partner, too. So it's no wonder so many people nowadays are trying to keep an eye on their dear's activity on the net. Anytime you need to put things under control, Elite Keylogger is the safest and most powerful solution available. Thanks to Elite Keylogger, you can easily protect your children from dangerous online relationships and or be aware of what your spouse is searching for on the internet. By monitoring the visited websites, sent emails, and instant messaging chats, you can always prevent the problem before it arises. Elite Keylogger is an ideal tool for keystrokes monitoring. It tracks every key press and remembers every password typed, even those that are pasted from a clipboard. One of the things that's great about WideStep's Keylogger is it's 100% undetectable for antiviruses and is totally invisible on your system. But in case you decide to notify your users that they're being monitored, Elite Keylogging lets you enable a special warning on user login. As far as obtaining the logs goes, all you need is to unhide the keylogger using the secret command and look the reports through right on the monitored computer. In some cases, however, accessing the monitored PC is impossible. The good news is that Elite Keylogger offers you a chance of obtaining the logs remotely. For example, via email means you can receive the gathered data remotely upon entering an email address that you would like the logs sent to. If for some reason the email option isn't convenient, you can choose from FTP log delivery or even automated saving of the monitored data to a pre-configured USB drive. So how can you be sure it works as expected? You can try Elite Keylogger in action by installing a free trial version of the software. Convince yourself that Elite Keylogger is truly invisible. Record system logon passwords. Has a user-friendly interface. Logs both incoming and outgoing email. Records the websites visited by all users. Provides a multitude of ways to receive logs. Tracks the printed documents and apps launched. And much more.
All right, so what do you think of that? If they can track every keystroke that you have, then let's say you open a virus email or a malware email, and all of a sudden it installs this key logging software. You go to your online bank account, you type in your username and password, and bingo, the criminal just got in because it knows everything you're doing, everything you're typing. Same way with your credit card information. So let's say you go to a website and you type in your credit card information to purchase something, which we all do all the time, right? And now the criminal just has your credit card information. So if the criminal, if you can buy this stuff as a legitimate piece of software, trust me, the criminals already have this stuff. In fact, who knows, this Elite Keylogger, who's to say that that this in itself isn't tracking and sending all that data to this company. They had that nice little symbol in there that said that they're a CNET approved, and they had that those little 5 stars there. And the shocking thing to all of us is that criminals know how to right-click on an image and save it and then put that icon on their website. So just because you read it on the internet and just because it has 5 stars doesn't mean that it's not a hacked piece of software as well. So everybody's received junk emails, right? We all get spam all the time. And, sometimes they're stupid, but sometimes they're pretty good. You get something from Amazon or from PayPal, and it looks on the surface to be a legitimate email, and then you click on the link and you reset your PayPal password, and guess what? You just gave all your PayPal information to the criminal. I see these things from UPS, from banks, Facebook. The criminals try to scam on any kind of current event or well-known website that it's likely that you purchased something from in the not-so-distant past, so they can kind of confuse you. So you really have to be sharp to double-check that this isn't real stuff. The other thing that they're doing is you're starting to get text messages that are also scams. So I think that's a funny one. So that's a nice, easy way that they can get malware on your phone because you let them in. We saw kind of the rerouting of phone calls with the cell phone hacking. But the other thing that they can do is, let's say you get a piece of malware on your phone. You download what looks to be a harmless flashlight app, and it's actually pre-programmed to look for all financial institutions' phone numbers. So when you dial the phone number for what you think is your bank, it then reroutes that phone call to its call center. And what's the bank do? They verify your personal information when you call, right? So you just now gave your personal information to who you thought was your bank because you called them, but it actually got rerouted to somebody else. And then, you can just buy software that contains the malware. So, if you buy Office software, Microsoft Office, and it was only $10, guess what? It's not legitimate software. It sure as heck's going to contain malware on it. So just be really careful what you buy, what you download, the links that you click on. So you're saying, well, listen, I'm not a hacker, and my friends aren't hackers either. So, we don't even know how, how does this even get created? But you know what? You can just hire a hacker, and I find this to be just one of the most comical things ever. So let's check out this video on neighborhoodhacker.com. I think you'll really enjoy this one.
Let's face it, the internet is a scary place, filled with scammers, digital identity thieves, cheaters, malicious users, and negative posts. So what do you do when faced with these threats? Hire the hacker. It's easy. Log on to neighborhoodhacker.com. Professional hackers for hire. Fill out a short form. Talk to one of our professional hackers for hire, and we do the rest. Our professional hacker for hire services are completely confidential, fast, and worry-free. So what are you waiting for? A professional hacker for hire is waiting to help you. Call or click today. 1-888-966-0937. neighborhoodhacker.com.
So isn't that great? You don't even have to be a hacker. You can just hire a hacker, and it's completely safe and confidential. Yeah, right. So, if you hire them, maybe they're just hacking into you as well. But I found this one really entertaining. On their site, they do not show prices. But I did find another site, this hackanyone.com, that for $400 you can have anybody's email account hacked. For $450 you can hack somebody's Facebook account, and we know how much Facebook's getting hacked into. For $300 you can hack into somebody's website. That's a deal at $300. And then my favorite here is the denial of service attack for $700. What this means is that you can shut any business down. Let's say you get somebody that doesn't pay you. Well, they don't pay you. Let's just hire a hacker, and you can shut their business down. So essentially, what they're doing is, because they now control hundreds of thousands of PCs and servers across the world, they get those servers and PCs through their piece of software to essentially make an electronic phone call to the business's computer. So therefore, there's so many incoming calls and incoming traffic coming in that they can no longer make outbound calls. So it's just like in the old days when you called somebody and they were on the phone, you got a busy signal. That's essentially what a denial of service attack is. It's like getting a busy signal on your computer network. So it's really interesting how these hackers are promoting themselves. You know, this isn't tough. You know, you just go out and Google it, and you're gonna find these hackers everywhere. They're not hiding in the underground. They're really out and about and advertising on YouTube, right? All right, so at the end of the day, you say, oh my gosh, all this stuff is so scary. And if you're like me, you know, I first started really investigate this hacker stuff. Oh my goodness, it was scary. You know, you think, oh gosh, I'm just not safe anywhere, and my family's not safe. And now they can follow me on my cell phone because they've hacked in. They have the GPS. They know exactly where I am. They've hacked into my home because they can see the cameras that I have set up. You know, so how do you go about protecting yourself? The answer isn't really one answer. It's lots of answers. So, you know, we need to have many, many layers of defense. So, so let's think of it this way. So if this is my midlife crisis car, and it's parked at my house, and I don't lock the doors, and then what can happen is, you know, the neighborhood teenagers, they just get mischievous. And, you know, my car's in the driveway, it's unlocked. They're going to try to open the doors, and, you know, maybe they steal a little cash out of it, and eventually they get bold and they steal my car stereo out of it. And that actually did happen a couple years ago, and the police actually did recover my car stereo. But what can I have done to protect my car? Well, I could have locked the doors, right? That would have been step number one. You know, my wife grew up outside of Philadelphia, and she locks everything. You know, I grew up here in Lancaster, and I locked nothing. Well, I'm starting to learn her way now that I've had my car broken into. But I can lock the doors. The next thing I could do is I could park my car in the garage, right? And then the next thing I could do is lock my car doors while it's parked in the garage. I could shut the garage door down. I could turn my home alarm system on. I could build a gate and a fence around my entire property, and I could then put barbed wire at the top to protect my car stereo. And then I could get German Shepherds and pit bulls, and I could let them loose at night, and they could roam inside my yard. And then I could hire like a whole security detail to stand in my yard with machine guns to make sure that nobody comes in. So obviously that's an extreme, and you know, nobody does that except I guess if you're really famous or rich. But the reality is there's lots and lots of things that you can do to protect yourself. So what are those things? You can have good passwords. So everybody, you know, everything you do now has to have a password to it. And then what happens is we get lazy and we use really easy to crack kind of passwords because we don't want to remember a hard password. So for us, you know, a good password is going to be at least 10 characters long. It's going to have a capital letter. It's going to have a lowercase letter. It's going to have a number, and it's going to have a symbol. Okay, so how do you go about doing that? And you say, oh my gosh, this is too complicated. I'm never going to remember it. Well, take something easy and then convert it into something you can remember. So let's take our company name. So EZSolution. So it's probably enough letters long, but I can have the E and the Z be capital. I can have everything else be lowercase. I can have the O's be an @ symbol. I can have the L or the I be the number 1. So I can take any word and I can create it into a good password. You could take your street address, which already has numbers in it, and use that, and just, you know, trick it around so that you get those symbols in there, and that it's something that's easy for you to remember. But please use better passwords than password. And my other tip is, don't make the password so hard that you can't remember it, that you write it on a sticky note and stick it on your monitor, you know, for the nighttime cleaning crew to come in and jot down your passwords. Okay. The next for your business is let's get a good firewall. You know, let's not go to Staples and buy a firewall. Let's get a real firewall in your business. You know, frequently, you know, I go out and we do network assessments for local businesses, and we frequently find that they either have no firewall or they have a firewall that you would typically find in someone's home. Okay, then you have the updates to your hardware and software. So Microsoft pretty much every week has an update to their software. And you can set the software just to do it automatically, or you can set it that you get reminded for it. But if you're not doing those updates, what happens is your system is now vulnerable, and people kind of they get kind of lax on these hardware and software updates. But think about it. Why does Microsoft release these patches? They do it because they found that somebody hacked into, or they're fixing something in their software, and for free they're giving you the fix for it. So please make those updates. The same thing happens with like your accounting software. Like if you're using QuickBooks, they have updates for it. Please make those updates. Let's make sure you have antivirus software on your computer. So that's kind of like me not locking my car door, right? It's just really easy to get these viruses. Put secure your backup on here. So in the event that you get hacked, your server is rendered useless, you have a way to get back that data. So even though maybe backup isn't part of not getting hacked, because it's not preventing you from getting hacked, but if you get hacked and you lose that data, you sure want to have a way to get back up and running. So make sure you have a good backup. And then a lot of people have wireless. So if you have wireless at your office, let's make sure that it's really secured or it's separated from your business network so that it's not easy to get into that. So if I can sit out in your parking lot with my laptop and I can connect to your network, it's not secure. And let's secure your cell phones. There's actually software out there that you can secure it, that you can wipe the cell phone if it's stolen. iPhone does a pretty good job natively on the phone that you can do this, but in the Android, there is some good software out there to protect your cell phones. The next is just education. So, how do you identify those phishing emails that you get? Here's just a basic clue. If you read it and the grammar's wrong and they have spelling mistakes, it's a scam. Because guess what? UPS, Amazon, and PayPal, they all have paid professionals, and the emails they send out are grammatically correct and don't have spelling mistakes. The next thing you can do in those emails is you can kind of mouse over the link. They all have links in them, so because that's how they're getting all the crap on your computer, right? So if you mouse over the link and that link is not the link of the company who's sending it to you, it's a scam. So don't click on it. The other thing is just flat out scams. Sometimes, I probably get these on a regular basis. I didn't win $1 million from my unknown cousin in Nigeria. My son, grandson, whoever is not locked up in a prison across the country and needs me to wire him $20,000. These scams are everywhere. Just be careful. Use good common sense. Make some good phone calls. Next, just be careful what you download. There's lots of software out there. You can Google something and then you go, oh yeah, that'd be a great piece of software. Or that'd be a great app or game that you can download. Just to make sure you're using a reputable source. It's one of the easiest ways to get this malware and these keyloggers on your computers. Definitely talk to your bank. Your bankers, you make your banker your buddy. They don't really want to talk about it to any great degree, but they have all these services that they can sell you to protect you. So they do want to talk about it. So make sure you go in and meet with your banker and see what your risks are and how do you best protect yourself. There are a lot of banks around here right now that have been doing security seminars to kind of explain what your risks are, just like we did today, as well as what you can do within the banking institution themselves to help protect that. Then talk to your insurance agent. So you can actually buy, well, we know you can buy identity theft insurance. You can buy cybercrime insurance, which is a newer kind of insurance out there that you can buy. And you can actually buy just flat-out crime insurance. So what if your business gets broken into? So talk to your insurance agent, review what your risks are, and they can kind of help you walk through that landscape. So at the end of the day, there are really two kinds of businesses out there. The ones that know they've been hacked and those who don't. It's not a question of if you get hacked. This is you're going to get hacked at some point. You can say, well, I never open those phishing schemes, or I don't click on those, that junk email. Well, maybe you don't, but you know what? You have employees, and will they click on those? Will they download games on your work computer? How are we educating and protecting your entire organization? All right, so think about right now, what is your biggest risk to your business as far as this cyber crime is concerned, and really do some analysis and figure out what are you going to do about it. So, do you see any issues right now that require your attention? My guess is that you do. It's a never-ending battle to protect yourself and your business. So we see the risk, but then the question is, what are we going to do about it, or are you actually going to do something about that risk? And, if you're like me, I attend a lot of webinars and in-person seminars, and you get some good ideas, and you get motivated while you're there, and you say, oh, yeah, I'm going to do something about that. And then you get back to your office, and, there's a line at your door, and you have 30 emails that you have to address, and time just takes over, and you don't get around to it. So we really encourage you to look at this, and the reality is I want to be part of your solution. We've spent a lot of time helping clients solve these cybersecurity problems, and we want to help you solve the ones that you want to address, so that we can point out to you and say, here's some low-hanging fruit that we can really address for you. So what we're offering is to do a network audit for you to identify some of those risks. So we're going to take a look at your firewall and your software patches, and do you have any old systems that are in your network? Do you have antivirus on your computers? Are you using any kind of malware software? Do we have any unnecessary open ports? Do we have password issues? Are you having a lot of system downtime? We're going to review your backups so that in the event that you have an issue, that your system can be back up and running. We're going to look for any hidden issues that you might have that we can point out and say, hey, here's something that we can really resolve for you. And then we're going to answer any questions that you have, because we know this is a difficult topic, and a lot of times, you don't want to talk about this in front of any other employees, or even if you have an in-house IT resource, you might not want to address some of the stuff with them. At the end of the day, we're going to provide a report to you with some suggestions on what issues that we see and things that need to be resolved. We'll even put priorities on those, so you can say, this stuff is on fire, this stuff should be addressed, as we go. So normally for a security audit or network audit, we charge anywhere between $1,000 and $5,000 to do that. Today, because you attended our webinar, and we really appreciate that you take the time today to do that, it's free to all businesses who are in the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area who have 10 or more computers. So, give us a call, shoot us an email. We'd be glad to talk to you about that. And we really want to be part of your overall solution as to how do you protect your business from these criminals. So thank you so very much for attending today. I'm going to open up the lines here. Everybody's been on mute, but if you do have any questions, you can post it in the chat section of your browser, or you can just start to talk, and I'll answer any questions that you have.
You are now unmuted.
So all the lines are now open. Excellent. Well, hey, thank you so very much for attending. If you do have any questions, then just reach out to us. We'll be glad to talk to you. So thank you so very much.